have just completed the Love Codes with Belinda Bailey. Now, I wanted to share the reason that I went into the program in the first place. I like to consider myself a high-functioning, loving, happy human, and yet if I'm really honest, inside of relationships, I had become present to this pattern of kind of keeping people a little separate from me. I was very loving, I was really present in relationships, and yet I was also kind of sitting across at a gap or a void, and I didn't really know how to close that gap or really connect on an even deeper level. I would either create conflict unnecessarily, or I would look at my partners and find flaws and faults in really not very flawed behavior, if I'm really honest. But it took me a while to get honest enough to actually see that I was creating that pattern, and it wasn't necessarily the partners, but yet it was the pattern that I kept playing out with different partners. And that's always the biggest link and the clue, isn't it? That if it's happening again and again, it's probably with you. I would have to honestly say, perhaps differently to other people, I came in kind of seeing my wound. I was a bit more present to what was there. What I didn't have was the actual tangible tools. So for me, recognizing that whilst I had that wound, inside of an actual communication, this is how I was playing it out. And instead of doing it that way, here's all the other options. So what Belinda gave me was actual tools to play with, experiences to be with, embodiment practices to sort of sit in. One of the greatest things that I got from Belinda actually out of this program was really that I just hold the vision and the desire of what I want the relationship to be like, and I hold my course, and then my partner really can do his thing, but I don't have to fix it. I don't have to try and mold him into my reality. And that's been a massive shift for me, and I think it's gifted him more freedom. Post-program, what's really shifted for me inside my relationship, which, you know, I was already great and all of the things, was that now I can really kind of own my part without any shame or blame or any need to kind of distance or separate myself from my partner. I can really be with, that's my pattern, and I press play on it, and I'm really sorry. And the way that we communicate now feels more authentic. It feels more receptive on both sides. And he didn't do the program. I mean, I did the program, but the way that I've been able to show up has allowed him to position himself, I suppose, differently, or I experience him as differently. And I suppose it's like all parts affect the whole. So my shifting has meant that we have shifted. And so for me, the little things bother me a whole lot less. Communication feels more fluid and more whole without conflict. There's less conflict. And that when conflict comes up, I'm less attached now to fixing it. That's a big thing for me. Me softening has allowed him to actually come and greet me more richly, which is rewarding for me, of course, but I think for both of us, it's deepened our connection. No matter where you are, whether it's in a great relationship or whether it's with a great knowledge already, what's beautiful about the journey is there's even more that we can learn. And I'm really grateful that I stepped out of my own ego and my own way and my own ideas of expertise to gift myself over to Belinda and her expertise, because she is an expert and she is really very deft with the way she manages all of this. It's a soft touch, but it's profound. And I think the other thing that really surprised me was, even though I was investing in something that's very personal for me and was obviously very much a heart-led decision that affected how I feel in my relationship, which is priceless, of course. But what was beautiful to see in reflection was that my relationships at work shifted, and the patterns that I used to have in play that were keeping me a little separate or a little distanced or not connected in kind of every realm, family and my employees, they shifted too. So whilst I got to feel really juiced up and loved up and seen inside my relationship, my intimate, sexual, partner relationship, I equally saw those shifts and that expansion in the other places in my life as well, which was a huge win and just something to think about.